Oh shit.
Are we live?
There we are. All right.
I need my glasses yet.
I think I started with saying hello, community.
Dropping the F-bomb to open the show up.
Well, it was the S-bomb, but
Yes.
hello, community. Obviously, I'm not. I'm a little rusty from vacation, so you can call me Rusty Dragon. Don't do that. That sounds awful.
That's a bad pun.
It is.
Community, if you haven't figured this out yet, we make this show up as we go along, and you are a huge part of it. And to kick off the show,
We haven't thanked the community properly in a while.
Actually, I'm not quite sure what we got to do today. We have a few choices that we can work on, and I want to throw it out to the community. And those of you that are on chat, please voice your opinions, and Rusty Dragon here will review those, and we'll start drawing something. So your choices are, number one, a city entrance that is reminiscent of the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Number two, the costume design for Dark Star. And number three, creatures, pets, animal things that look like they are part of the Oracle Pantheon. So they'd be little mechanical critters. So those are your choices. We can do a landscape city entrance as option number one, option number two, costume for Dark Star, and option number three, some relatively cute critters that look sort of friendly because everything else the Oracle has looks a little creepy.
So it sounds like a choice between organic, costume, and tech.
That's exactly what it is.
Cool. So what are you guys in the mood for?
Yeah, let us know.
So you message us on chat. I'll go check that in a second. In the meantime, we've got a few announcements to make. First of all, we're going to have an E3 presence. So definitely come check us out at E3. We're going to be right next to the Twitch booth. And when I say we, I don't mean me. So find Twitch TV, come check us out. And I just heard that we're going to have exclusive things to be giving away that you're not going to be able to get any other way. So that's super exciting.
That's true.
Additionally,
I know what those exclusive things are.
You said you know or you wonder?
I know.
You know.
Because I even have an example.
Oh, you want to? I think we can show them.
Can we?
I don't see why not.
All right. So they're on the shelf in a little plastic bag. And since we are going to be at E3,
This one?
yes, we can celebrate. So for those of you who are in California or planning on attending E3, and right next to the Twitch booth is the Shroud of the Avatar booth, and you can have a chance to chat with Lord British, Dark Star, Finn
Staber. Yeah. What is his? Yeah, what is his name? Is his username? I can't even remember.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Finn.
And then who's the fourth person? Is it Chris?
I'm not sure.
I don't remember. Anyway,
I think Finn's bringing somebody, possibly.
Is he? So what we have are these beautiful, unique, custom Shroud of the Avatar coins.
Shiny.
Shiny. Look at that. I'm trying to blind the camera. And then on the opposite side, you'll see that it has Lord British's coat of arms, and in runic, it says something special. Can you guess?
Something special.
No. Shroud of the
Love
Avatar,
Steven.
Forsaken Virtues.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So while these look very similar to the other coins that have been out, they are in fact different, and we'll let you guys ponder and commiserate about why, and we'll let you know after E3 exactly why they're different.
And like everything that we produce, there is a limited quantity. So if you're a collector or you're just curious, definitely grab them while you can.
So one other thing, the important, very, very important announcement. Let me grab this box. I had something fun laying around, community. At home, I bought an extra one of these. This is a TP-Link Nano wireless adapter. So you plug it into computers that don't have wireless internet, and you give them wireless internet in an attempt to keep Steven from getting knocked off during Pen of the Avatar. So we've unplugged his network cable, and we've switched to wireless, hoping that that will solve the internet connectivity problem. And if not, we're just going to wipe the computer and give him a new one. What do you think about that?
There you go. And in addition, since we made Chris aware of this, we are going to be doing a shot for Chris because it's always someone else's problem.
That's right. We'll be drinking from the Hearth of Britannia mug today.
So, stir a little shot here. Today definitely calls for it.
Top that off if you want.
There you go.
My mug of whiskey.
Yes, and forgive us, we haven't even introduced ourselves. I'm Stephen Dedele, concept art lead for Shroud of the Avatar, here with
Rustic Dragon, web guy and community person for Shroud of the Avatar.
all right,
Cheers, good sir.
Shroud of the Avatar and its absolutely amazing community. We wouldn't be here without you. Thank you for everything that you do.
I jumped the gun. Thank you, community.
I need that.
All right, I'm going to jump on chat. I'm going to see what you guys voted for.
Okay. So Joseph just took a vacation and went camping, traveled around the East Coast.
You know, actually,
the
I cut out the
Appalachians.
East Coast.
Did you?
Yeah, I kind of went up and straight back down. Went up to Indiana, Michigan, and then kind of meandered back down the same way in an effort to have more time to myself to just relax, bond with my camera.
That sounds pretty good. Indiana and Michigan are not at the top of my list of places to visit, but
Well,
since you're from there, I can understand.
Right. Yeah. It's not, I mean, on the grand list of places that I want to go, they're not top either, but I had business.
Hmm. Who could that be?
Oh, just the love of my life.
Here.
No one special. I kid.
All right. What's our community saying?
It's a good question. We have, oh boy, scrolly.
Should probably open up Photoshop and get ready to paint.
Okay, so we've got Babylon, costume design, Darkstar.
One of
Okay,
each.
so let's see, and one for cave dwellings. Okay,
Cave dwellings.
an extra for Darkstar.
Who said cave dwellings?
Melchior, of course. Several votes for Darkstar from the same person. Thank you, Rhea. Amber wants... Wait, so Amber has said costume design and Darkstar, so I'm
One each community.
not sure what's going on there. Lord British's Castle, that's not on the list there. Let's see.
Just random shots. Joseph.
It really is looking like, okay, Darkstar, Chaotic, or okay, I'm seeing Darkstar the most. Of course, people seem to be spamming Darkstar. The vocal minority is really wanting Darkstar. So Amber Rain, Duke Violation, and Rhea have all voted for Darkstar. I think that one wins, although there is 2 votes for the Gardens. There doesn't seem to be any votes for number 3. Oh, wait. Bubonic also voted for number 1, so it looks like we're tied, from what I can tell with a cursory glance, between number 1 and number 2.
Joseph, do you have a preference?
You know, it's been a long time since I've seen you do in-depth character design.
Okay.
I'm kind of leaning towards that. I like costumes. Just the last one was a nice, exhaustive, fun, great atmospheric concept landscape piece. It'd be nice to hone back in on some cloth and stuff like that.
I'm with you. All right, so characters and Darkstar's costume for Shroud of the Avatar is what we're going to be doing, community. And I am pulling up actually just trying to pull up a old character that I have from earlier in the project. And I'm going to go ahead and switch you over to Photoshop so you can see what's going on. There we go.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, this is actually an early concept of the original Avatar. It was very important to Lord British that be quite the action shot.
It's important to Lord British that the shield be screaming.
Mm-hmm. The screaming shield. So, what I've got here is just a different process for creating art. I'm going to go ahead and say File, Save As. We're going to pull this out of Fighter, and I think we're going to create a new folder and just call it, wow, I've got to do this for Lord British also, Darkstar and Lord British. Oh, let's just call it VIP.
There you go. Royalty.
Yes, idea, characters. Go with VIP underscore Darkstar. Okay, looks like I got a little white there. And that's that. And this character here, he's just broken into different pieces, so I'm just going to go ahead and merge that group. And we've got the tint. And alright, community, I'm going to walk you through how we're going to do this. Actually, I think I will, for those of you that are not familiar with my current setup, I'm using a Cintiq, 24-inch Cintiq, and I'm at the point in my life where I need reading glasses. I think bifocals are next. So I'm going to bring this around. I know we showed this a month ago, but I just want everyone to get a sense of what I'm doing here. And yeah, that's really easy to look at, isn't it? So I've got a 2-monitor setup. This large image right there is my navigator window, so I can see what's going on as I work. And then you can see the glare on the Cintiq, which is essentially a digital drawing table. And I'll actually be in here working to start. Okay, I'm going to put you...
Stephen, why don't you just look up here and smile for a second, and I'll just post this on Facebook. All right. There you go, smile. There you go. 1, 2, come on, the camera. There it goes. All right, community, I'll just post a picture of Stephen's workspace on Facebook and send you guys a link here in a second.
All right, let's see if we can get that back to we are in camera.
All right, do you want to approve this picture? Do you think you look fat?
Can you, like, Photoshop some muscles there on me?
Yeah, I can do that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, with that 24-inch Cintiq, I don't know if we need to really Photoshop anything else in there. It's already impressive.
Okay, so now to add to all of this, Darkstar. Star was kind enough to provide a description, so I'm going to go take a look at that description. We're going to see here. Alright, outfit should be dark and chaos thematic. He's a chaos wizard, but also likes swords and armor. Leather with plates. Think Gandalf, but dark. Alright. It's a pretty straightforward description. So, I'm going to take that information and let's just go find some images of Gandalf. Now, as you know, Darkstar, shaved head, has a bit of a soul patch. But, you know, that's a little, I don't know, kind of dark and spooky-ish, I guess. I'm not sure. A lot of pictures of Gandalf. All right. Wow, here's a winner. Internet, you complete me. Okay, so I got a feel for Gandalf, and actually, I I think we'll see if I can find some kind of pose or reference to use here. And since he does like swords, let's definitely give him an action pose. Let's see if this will come into focus at all. Oh, it's not bad. We've got him standing there. We've got him as a cat. Strange furry people. We've got him very badly photoshopped. It's kind of cool. And actually just finding a full-on picture of Gandalf is not that easy. That one's not bad. Oh, actually I kind of like that. So I'm just going to copy this image. Go ahead and paste it right in here, and Dark Star. We'll refer to this as reference, and I'm going to put that up over here, and just create a new layer. Call that base. Now I'm adjusting my drawing tablet so I can actually draw on it, which is always a bit of a chore. I'm afraid my workspace isn't as ergonomic as I would like.
Gotta get those ergs in there.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, you are now immortalized on the internet with your workspace. Of course, I now need to take another one of you full-on in drawing mode.
Sounds awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to start with black, and I'm going to go with a solid pen here, and start with the face. Let's look in that direction. Actually, we see his neck right there. Shoulder. His bicep. Let's get this other hand here. Looks like that's going back right there. Shoulders up like that. He's got his head down between his shoulders. And yes, he's going to have a robe and stuff, but for this concept purpose, I actually need to not draw the robe. I really like the way his hood is hanging off his shoulder there, so I'm going to keep that. For the most part, I'm going to come down here, and it looks like he's definitely in an action stance. And alright, so probably the first thing you're going to notice is even though he's leaning in with the sword and it's got all the impact of a guy in the middle of a battle, and he, however, is standing in the shape of a triangle like this, and that is a very static, stable composition. You want to do something where it's the triangle's falling over catch that motion, that sense of, oh, I'm off balance. I could fall either direction. So I'm going to change up the legs here. Okay, and I think get his leg up, his knee there. Actually, I think I might even bring his leg out a little more. Give him some nice action there. Okay, so at this point, I'm just actually going to go and fill in these shapes. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do something different. Let me back up a little bit there. And I am going to create a layer underneath. Pick a darker color. And as you can see, I'm just using a round solid brush and I'm just roughing this in. This is just quick and sloppy, and all I'm working or thinking about honestly is the sense of motion and balance, composition, that sort of thing. Okay, so, oops, merge these fellows together. So now I've got a character, and then I'm going to come in here with my, oh, actually let's position him.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Let's get some scale on him there. And a little bit of rotation, just so he's feeling good. Move my reference over there. Okay, so that's just a roughed in shape. And for those of you that have been with us since the beginning when I would do this in marker, that is essentially it. It's just create those basic shapes, and then I pull out another piece of paper and draw right on top of it. Okay. So the big hood is very important. This forearm is going to be important. What's good about this is that shoulder will allow us to really just show off Darkstar's armor.
So it looks like our internet connection is holding steady. I don't want to jinx it, but I think last time we had already dropped by now.
No, actually, it was right at the 1 hour mark.
1 hour mark?
Yeah.
Well, maybe I did jinx it.
Way to go.
Sorry. We shall see.
Thanks, Rusty. Okay, and go ahead and just darken this whole thing up a bit. Okay. So now, I'm going to zoom in here and start working on just some light values. And again, it's really rough at this point. It's just about the shape. So I'm not focused on really trying to deliver on something accurately. Just want to get the roughs in there. Okay, we've got a ear and a head. Take a look at where that neck's showing up. Yeah, probably turn that so he's leaning a little more into it, but right now I'm not going to worry about it. I really like this hood. So the hood's coming in below. I also want to point out I'm using a chalk brush. This is really about just getting some texture and noise underneath the image. It's not about getting all those details, making anything look like anything at the moment. Now it's important that he has some kind of very large chaos symbol, because as we all know, Darkstar is the Lord of Chaos. Is he the Lord of Chaos?
That's right.
You tell me. I don't know all the details.
He's the Lord of all chaos.
Lord of all chaos. The Lord of Chaos. So how's our community? Joseph, any questions, feedback?
Well, Golem Dragon is proposing some slash art. Some
slash art, like slash
like
Guns N' Roses slash?
Like some questionable fan art of Lord British standing opposite Darkstar wearing only a cape. You know, baiting him like a bull to charge.
Oh, I see.
Oh, I'm sorry, he said armed with only a cape. Okay, maybe he's not wearing only a cape. I may have misread that. Either way, my first thought was...
Your imagination is running wild, isn't it?
My first thought was we were going to have a second special art book just for those.
Right. Don't take this the wrong way, but yeah, not that kind of game.
Not that kind of game. Oh, we don't want to have an LS plus or a DS plus LB. You know, like hard carved into a tree somewhere. Oh, okay. No bromance for Lord British and Dark.
It's funny you said bromance. You know what you reminded me of? Austin.
That time we spent together at the beach and oh wait, what? What is that about?
Those quiet walks along the beach at sunset. Austin is getting its first Brony convention.
I don't know how to respond to that one.
Bob has an invite. Yeah, I didn't know what to say either. It's like someone left this on my desk. Sure they did, Bob. Sure they did.
Oh boy. So we're gonna now. So of course, I'm just gonna go ahead and preempt it. I'm sure the community is going to ask now for stylized, you know, Lord British and Darkstar bronies, you know, little ponies, like versions of them, kind of like bobbleheads.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Duke Violation suggests we have a second program called Pen of the After Hours.
Pen of the After Hours.
And that's
it's kind of a sexy name.
I think that's when all the ridiculousness that hasn't somehow managed to surface can come out and play.
All right, Pen After Hours.
The community seems to be great. They Duke Violation also commented on. So I posted a picture of your workspace, and Duke Violation. The first thing that he noticed was water, whiskey, soda, and coffee. The entire spectrum of liquid motivation.
All right, so mine is the whiskey and the water. The coffee and the soda goes to Rusty.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah,
so
I don't drink soda.
Well, it's La Croix, or as we like to call it here in the office, La Crotch. It's
call it LaCroix.
La Croix, LaCroix, either way. I think we can all agree on the crotch, right? I don't know how you say it.
Whatever. It's French. Voulez-vous?
But yeah, it's just carbonated water, natural flavors. No high fructose corn syrup. No.
It sold me.
No sugar.
Won't make fun of it again.
I owe that that title of it to Scott Jones, because he's the first person who called it LaCroix. Of course, he said that while I was drinking it, and it
came out your nose.
It did, and you know it's carbonated, so it wasn't very pleasant.
Clean those sinuses. All right, there we have a rough end, but man, his proportions are whacked. Oh, don't know what's happening there. It's like I've never drawn. Okay, so I am going to continue to kind of rough in what we've got going here. And then I'm going to come in here, figure out which way the lighting's going, and we're going to do something about those proportions. Okay, so in our photo reference here, and I'll zoom in, we have Gandalf, the Battle at Pelennor Fields. Did I get that right?
I would not be the person to ask about that.
Wow. All right. Hopefully I got that right. Amber, do you know?
Fact check. Amber.
No, fact check me. Okay, so I want that light coming from the upper right, and so I'm just going to come in here and start darkening it up where those shadows would be.
Naturally, the community is taking and running with Pen of the After Hours. The ideas are flowing.
Are they?
I'm not sure how much of those I want to share.
We are a family-friendly show.
This is true.
Yes. Oh, hey, speaking of family, I want to give a little shout-out to my friends up in Seattle. Their title, Murdered Sole Suspect, ships today.
Sweet.
Congratulations on getting that out the door. I hope it's a success. And yeah, great job. It's actually first art director on that project. And yes, I wish you great success. I hope it goes well. And if you're a console person, definitely take a look at Murdered Sole Suspect. Okay, so right now we've got a face, and he's looking a little, yeah, like I'm yelling. I'm Darkstar. Don't mess with me. Chaos. So Joseph, fill us in. What is the history with like Darkstar and Lord British, as opposed to what's that game? Starts with a U.
The game that we are not making. So interestingly enough, so back in Ultima 5, there was well, I can talk about history. Back in Ultima 5, Lord British went on a quest into the underworld. He left. So after Ultima 4, after the beginning of the Age of Enlightenment, where virtue was brought to Britannia and everybody was united under this awesome system, and we have the Avatar, who is the paragon of virtue. Lord British goes to the underworld, and Blackthorn takes over in his stead. He is his regent. And Blackthorn says...
That's right, I forgot. We can't use the name Blackthorn because that's owned by some other company, right?
Indeed. So Blackthorn came in and he said, all right, so virtue is good. So let's more virtue is going to be more good. So let's say, so basically he started punishing people for not being virtuous. So you had to be compassionate, you had to be valiant, you had to be just. And it was very, very strictly defined what this was, and you were punished in very strict accordance to to his strange interpretation of the law if you weren't virtuous according to his standards. So, in Richard's words, in many interviews, he said, first let's show them why virtue is good, now let's show them why virtue is bad. And in addition to being a somewhat overzealous and idealistic regent, Blackthorne was also under the influence of the evil Shadow Lords. So he was definitely the villain of Ultima 5. And at the end of Ultima 5, he was exiled. And he made a return in Ultima 9, and he made a return in Ultima Online. And but interesting bit of trivia, at the time of Ultima 5, Starlong was not yet in the picture. Starlong, of course, came along during the Ultima Online era, and he was retconned in as Blackthorne. So he retroactively became Blackthorne. He wasn't Blackthorne during Ultima 5. So if you look at some of the in-game and the images and the paintings and the toys, they sort of look like Star in the Ultima Online era, but not before that. And of course now Star has been, Blackthorne was banished and came back in Ultima 5 and in Ultima 9 and was banished again, and he may have left Britannia for a new world, and he may have taken up a new title, and he may be known as Darkstar now.
How much are we giving away here?
That's just common knowledge for any Ultima fan.
Oh, all right.
But it's all conjecture because,
we don't really know for sure.
Right. This could be his evil brother or something.
His evil brother. Oh my goodness. All right, so as you can see, I am just continuing to rough in the shapes here. I want to give some consideration to whatever type of lighting I'm going to have. About 10 minutes ago I had expressed my concern with the proportions, and I am still concerned about that, but I'm just roughing in some shapes, and we'll see why here in just a moment. Okay.
For some reason, there seems to be a thread weaving in and out of chat today for pink things.
Pink things. Oh, it's because of that pink picture of Gandalf. Community, pink is my least favorite color, so don't even start. Okay, let's get some more shadow in here. Right. This guy's pretty buffed.
Do you know the artist Jeff Matsuda?
Jeff Matsuda. No, I'm not.
Comic book artist.
Nope.
The reason that I thought of him is you said, "Oh my God, the proportion on this." And Jeff Matsuda is kind of notorious for having some of the most excessive, ridiculous musculature in comics. Some of the most crazy things.
Oh. Not cool. Not cool at all. All right. Okay, so looking at this guy, yeah, he's just a mess as far as proportions go. What the? Oh my God. Community, you'll have to forgive me as I try and navigate my non-ergonomic workspace. Okay, so for starters, I think overall his proportions are just too broad. I think his head's too small. I think his arms are too big. So right now I'm just going through and I'm erasing those different parts just to thin him out a bit. Okay, so that feels better. This elbow needs to be right there, and tricep right there. And I think what's throwing me is I just kind of threw some armor on there to get a feel for it before I started in on the body. Take that a little further down. That up a little more. Thin that and okay, and then I think the last thing is his head is too small. So just marquee tooled that to blow it up to a much larger proportion. I think I'm going to raise up his head a bit too. Okay, that feels good.
You realize that you just set up the joke for us to make fun of it, how big of a star's head he has.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can let that go in good faith, but
I'm pretty sure the community won't.
I'm afraid to say anything.
We do like our entertainment, don't we?
So the community is still riffing on pink. I think it's kind of a play on the whole idea that, you know, chaos and darkness and evil and pink.
Evil and Pink, isn't that a movie?
Possibly. I think it's just the kind of the unexpectedness of pink. You know, that being said, in 2005 I had the opportunity to go to Japan, and I was on a subway or a train or something, and this punk guy gets on. I mean, this guy is like, as punk gets. Piercings and spikes and hair, and he's wearing black leather and everything, and a bright pink polo. And then some friends get on, and they're all, you know, similarly adorned with all the accessories and the mannerisms and the posture and the behavior, but they all have some large swath of pink. And it was absolutely impossible to be intimidated by these guys because of the large swaths of pink they were wearing. And, after that, I've always had a new respect for pink. It's like, pink is punk.
Whatever.
Not
a fan. Call it good.
I'm gonna get you a pink. Gonna get you a salmon shirt there, Stephen.
No, maybe salmon.
Notice that you never say salmon or goldenrod unless you're talking about paper.
All right. Let's see what we're doing here. So at this point, I'd actually go and find There we go. Just want to go find a proportional dude. Guy's pretty ripped. Art models. Actually, that guy's ridiculously big. And we could use the Da Vinci one, but I actually think this guy here is going to work. He's Asian. His shoulders are a little thin, but you know, I think actually he looks kind of evil. So I'm just going to pull this guy off to the side of the screen and use him for reference as I flesh this out. And I think probably the first thing is I want to, there's a lot more negative space right in here. Let's fill in that. And it's got some pretty, he's in good shape, but he's thin. Star definitely spends some time in the gym, so I think we'll go with something like that. Increase his lats, a bit of a waist. His hand looking a little more like the reference. There. Okay, so I think his right forearm's probably a little thicker than what I want. It's not bad. So let's come up here, clean up the side of his head. There we go. Giving them huge ears. You're awfully quiet, Rusty.
I'm actually doing a little photoshopping myself. Duke Violation has made a sword for Amber, and I'm making it pink.
Really? Amber? I thought your favorite color was black. Pink? Give him a bit of a snarl. Okay, I think one of the things that's important with Dark Star is making sure that we get the what am I trying to say? Oh, the magic, the fact that he is a sorcerer of unimaginable power. The Dark Star. Alright. So now I'm coming in here with a lighter color. It's actually probably a little too light, but it's alright. This is just get those eyebrows really down there. Dark Star is all about the chaos, right?
Indeed.
Okay.
Amber Rain has exclaimed, "I hate pink! I hate it!"
Oh, bless you, Amber. You and I agree. Okay. I should definitely be looking at some reference for this face because that's just not quite going the way I want it to. But for right now, it's good enough.
Duke Violation has thrown this sword that we're talking about into your character.
Oh, very nice.
Minus the pink handle.
I like that. So I think that sword's ideal. Just get it flaming with a little bit of magic. Gotta magic it up.
What if the pink doesn't make it flaming enough? But it's...
Wow. Can't believe I walked into that one. Okay. Anyway, here's a good example of why it's always important to use reference when you're drawing things, especially people. This face has got all sorts of problems, but for the purposes of our 2-hour painting, it's going to work. The side of Gandalf's face is looking like there.
Why does Darkstar look so angry? He looks angry because he has dysentery.
Wow.
Well, that went downhill quickly. Someone did an interesting take on Lex Luthor. They made a medieval version, Sir Lexington Luthor, and Ravenclaw linked us that picture, and it is quite reminiscent of what we're going for here.
Why, yes it is. Thank you, Ravenclaw. Oh, that is, isn't it? Sir Lex Luthor. That's awesome. Okay, so right now, got a few things. His mouth is definitely a little too small. So we're going to widen that up a bit. Okay, noodling around this stuff, and it's not working. It's just best to leave it go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a Control-U and just darken everything a bit. Because when you're painting, you start dark and you work towards your lights. So I'm doing the same thing here. So the next thing I want to do is just start to get a rough in of the physique. Bicep there, the tricep there, back of the arm, elbow, forearm, there. And
Duke Violation says that you are a blast to watch and it makes him want to Photoshop.
thank you, Duke Violation. I appreciate it. I said, this stuff is a lot of fun. And I hope that it'll help those that are interested. Alright. So I haven't been talking as much. As you've noticed, I've started to talk less and less and less, and that's because I'm getting into what I'm doing. It's starting to get a feel for it. It's got a lot of issues, but it at least is looking like someone holding or going to be holding a weapon. So it's a start. Let's see, the chest here. Chest is going to be kind of interesting because, you know, we certainly want to show the chest so you can see what the sigil looks like. There we go. He's in the middle of combat, so he's definitely going to be flexed. I think I want to indicate just that. The rest of that pec is going to be somewhere right around there. So let's just make this some bounce light. Just want to make sure that reads. Oh, look at that. We're at the 1 hour mark.
Yeah. Hold my breath.
Yeah. Keep paying attention.
I'll keep an eye on it.
Okay.
Oh, but now we can't see your lovely Asian model.
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Just don't see his face.
Maybe it's better that way.
Alright, let's get a little, lighten up this knee. I'll bring it forward a bit. Get those hips. Get this knee also. Okay. That's pretty rough. And I'm really not crazy about these proportions. I'm hoping that it won't be distracting enough, so I can at least make some progress on this, so our community can see where it's going. I think I don't mind that one being so short, but I think this one is the one. Yeah, I'm just going to extend that one a bit. This one's okay, but I really, this leg just bent up a little more. So really get that sense of motion.
So something that you guys can't see with the screen share community is Stephen has his navigator palette in Photoshop open really, really large on his second display. Most people that I know that use Photoshop, photographers, illustrators, they underuse the navigator palette, and they just keep it that default tiny little size that it normally is, and they use it mostly as a way to know what part of the image they're zoomed in on, or as a way to zoom to a certain spot quickly. Stephen actually uses it to, you know, he uses it as a way to kind of get the gestalt of the image. So if he's zoomed in and working on something, I see him looking up a lot at the navigator palette, which is gigantic, so he doesn't have to zoom out to see where he is in the process.
Yes. Yes. Well said, Rusty.
This is golf narration with of illustration with Rustic Dragon. Oh, check that out, Stephen. Straight up.
Ow!
We forgot to tell the community about the beetle infestation.
Is that a beetle or a roach?
There's a load of beetles in there, and one's moving. So, community, about that, we got a PDF distributed to us today from our office manager saying, hey, because of the excessively cold and wet winter, beetles are everywhere, and we're working on it. In the meantime, you've got beetles. And they are not kidding. Last night there was they look just like big grain beetles, if you're familiar with what those are.
They're harmless.
Yeah, they're totally harmless. They're just crawling around. There's one in my office last night, and there's actually one, at least one, doing laps in the overhead light. So the fluorescent light has a, you know, your standard screen on it, and yeah, it's just doing laps in there. He seems to be getting his exercise. He's the mall walker of beetles.
Okay, so what I'm doing now is just trying to get a little more drama in the position of the body. And I think one of the things I'm going to do is just yeah, oh yeah, that didn't work.
Oh wow, that was terrible. We just need Yoko Ono. She'll get rid of the Beatles.
Yoko. Wow, I can't believe you did say that, didn't you? Joseph, you complete me.
Pun of the Avatar.
Alright.
No, we've not dropped connectivity. I'm quite surprised.
I'm surprised too. Wow. Wi-Fi might be the solution.
Yeah, I think so. That leads me to think, if we make it into the broadcast, that maybe your specific Ethernet adapter Or perhaps the
the card.
I'm sorry, I don't know why I said router. Your Ethernet adapter, your cable, or perhaps where it comes in this office could be the culprit.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that physical connection. Of course, well, I do want to say that Lum doesn't have the problem where he's never using his computer to connect, so it can't even say that.
Right.
But hey, if this works, it works, and I have that Ethernet adapter minus extra, so I don't mind bringing that every time you do a POTA.
Yay.
Golem Dragon made a terrible joke because they're commenting on how much your character is leaning right now, and they're joking about him falling over, which of course led to why chaos is bad, because order brings balance.
Oh, wow.
Wow, wow.
Oh, you guys are killing me.
Let's just Google Pink, the artist, and put her head on Darkstar here. Really.
Okay, so if I'm seeing this properly, okay, that right leg. Ooh, ooh. I don't know. Let's take a break here.
Need to reset the button?
Need to take a break. Have a little scotch.
A little scotch.
Yeah. So, community. As an artist, and if you are an artist, you know that sometimes you feel it and sometimes you don't.
No, I have some. I'm just
okay.
joining.
You could like squeeze in here.
Yeah, I have to put the computer down. So for those of you that don't know community, when we're sitting here, I'm like, I got my laptop here and I'm running the Hangout, and so I'm sitting here in chat, all snuggled up next to Steven. Not too close that he can't work, but close enough that I can watch him work.
I can feel your breath.
It's a nice balance.
So it's a. Oh, you heard that. So as a professional, one of the things that you have to come to terms with is that if you're not feeling it, if you don't have the flow, as I like to call it, you're ebbing, you need to find it and force it and make it happen. And there's a few different ways to do that. One, you can shift gears and focus on something else. Two, you can just pound it in there until it works. And I recently did that for that City of Artemis painting. That thing was not my friend.
Yeah, I don't know if I saw that one.
You haven't seen the City of Artemis?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'll bring it up.
I am out of the loop. Well, I was on vacation for a week and a half. So.
Right. There's also another part to that. I'll show that. I don't know if that's been made public yet. I won't do it. That's probably going to steal some thunder, but I know the City of Artemis has. Anyway, my point is, when you're not feeling it, artists, if it's a hobby, you got to walk away. When you're a pro, you don't get to walk away. You figure out a way to make it happen. And if you're one of those whiny bitch artists, or having a bad day, I guess you walk away because you're good enough to get away with it. Anyway, here is to being relentless, to everyone in our community who doesn't give up, who stands up one more time after getting knocked down. This one's for you. All right.
Ravenclaw says this is for your leg troubles.
Irish jig. That's beautiful, Ravenclaw.
And
actually, I really like that. That's look good.
It's uncanny.
It is. Okay. So we're gonna ignore the leg and let's start focusing on some costumes.
And I want to throw out their community. So I'm going to poke my head in here a little bit. I'm a different kind of artist than Steven, but I like to think of myself as an artist in my own way. One of the most important things for me, especially when I get in a situation where I don't like what I'm working on, is the ability to step back and laugh at myself and laugh at what I'm doing and not take it too seriously. So, for example,
see what you're doing in the urinal?
well, you know, it never helps my confidence to go to the bathroom before I take a test, but, you know, it's a trade, you know, discomfort versus that loss of confidence from, anyway. But yeah, you know, had this been my artwork and someone sent the, you know, Ravenclaw sent that in, I would totally appreciate it. Just puts that in that comedic perspective that lets me loosen up as an artist and not take it so seriously. And it's that whole self-conscious thing that I'm sure you could give a hour-long lecture on, being that self-conscious and warming up when it comes to art.
Yes.
And of course, you can always cheat. Whiskey warms you up.
Slows you down too. Back in the day when I was freelancing, I would start my day with 2 pots of coffee. By the afternoon, I'd be shaking, so I'd have a beer and a scotch to calm down. I get sleepy, and by dinner time, I'd have another pot of coffee and go till 12, 1 in the morning. That's how I lived my life for a couple of years. It was very up, down, up, down. It was exhausting.
And that's how I live my life. I always said that, you know, when the motivation strikes, I have to chase it as hard as I can. Because, you know, if I can have 3 hours of full-on blazing motivation, it's better than 6 hours of half intensity.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, learning to have the discipline to fight through all of that that's really, I think, what separates professionals from not.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not a professional artist. Because I like to chase that crazy high and then whine when I don't have it.
Yeah, well, I chase it.
Does that mean I'm one of the whiny bitch artists? Is that am I officially a whiny bitch artist?
No. You guys know who you are.
Hit the gym.
All right, we're back at it. Yeah, it's not quite going the way I want it. So what I'm going to do is just take the transparency down by half, and let's do a little bit of the armor. Now, we know that Chaos has enough of our guy here. Yeah, should have spelled it correctly. Chaos has, what is it, 8-sided arrows pointing in all directions. It's kind of spiky and sharp. And if I go with, do a search for Dark Lord, I get all sorts of, you know, cool fantasy villains with spiky helmets. Yeah. And this just harkens back to our shape psychology. And, of course, they can never be spiky enough. More spikes, taller. Everyone's trying to find something different to set themselves apart. I think the best way to set yourself apart is just do what you feel is right. So I am actually going to do a search for Nazgul. I think they were very successful in getting their dark creepiness. And then I'm just going to take a quick look at their armor. I think there's too many spikes on the head, but that's just me personally. I'm really interested in the way the shoulders are working. Let's see if we can find one. Oh, not so beautiful painting. Love those lights and darks, and it's really nice. By Deraz. Nice work, Deraz. And I don't know if that's going to give me what I want. What I'm looking for is just an image with the armor. There we go. Ah, look at that. Conceptual Nazgul armor. So it's got spikes. It's kind of got shoulder things, little spiky finger things, arm things, scales, dragon, fish-like. Okay. Got an inspiration. So with the armor, and thinking that Dark Star here, actually I think I made Dark Star's head too big now, we might have to shrink it. I'm going to and I think I'll just go back to my big, simple, round brush again. And I want something like that. But I also want to capture the chaos flavor of it. So I'm going to try and incorporate arrows in the armor design as much as I can. Actually, what I might do is put a little gap in there, because my first thought is, wow, this is some pretty pedestrian-looking pointed armor. It's like, what's up with that? Okay. And this will give our armor a bit of a unique feel. So it's got those notches cut out where the arrowhead would be. Kind of like that idea. So we'll go with it. Yeah, there we go.
Ravenclaw is just providing all the great links today. Apparently, the Ravenclaws found us there it is, a pink Nazgul.
Really?
Naturally.
Oh, that's hideous. Not heartbreaking. Someone actually had the audacity to sign that?
Well, you can find a lot of interesting things at a con.
That's true. Okay. Let's see. I think for the elbow here, actually do some kind of chaos symbol. There we go. One of our community, whoever you are that you're like knowledgeable about knights and armor, what do you call that piece that protects your elbow? It is the joint between your forearm and your bicep. Please weigh in now.
We shall see.
Oh, actually, doesn't he have a flame in the middle of his chaos symbol? Mr. Darkstar. Oh,
He does, like the skull-looking flame.
Yeah, it's just the black flame. Okay, kind of like that. I think I'm going to make it a little bitter. Did I say a little bitter? I'm a little bigger.
Oh man, I've got the hiccups.
Okay, I think it's going to be important that that really reads. It's curving away, protecting that elbow. Gosh, I almost think it needs to be bigger. So, Rusty, we got about 40 minutes to go. Any questions from the community? How are folks doing?
Let's see. Well, a lot of people have listed a lot of things. So the SCA calls it an elbow cop, but looks like people have listed us to Wikipedia. It looks like, come on, link. So it looks like it is a kute or counter, depending on if you want to anglicize it or make it French. Although the alternate spelling is C-O-T-E-R, so I guess kute is not what it would be. Counter, the defense of the elbow and a piece of plate armor. So counter it is. Ooh, that's a fancy looking one.
Counter?
Counters.
Counters.
Like counter without the turd.
Oh, I was going to say, like, Caltrop.
There's a nice fancy one for you.
Heck yeah. So, Spanish suit of armor?
Briquet de terre armure vienne.
Okay. So, happy about that. I think we'll carry these arrow points. You can certainly see it on the back side. I don't know if I can see it on the front side as much. Alright. I think Star's going to like this. This is actually looking pretty cool. You know what's next, don't you? LB.
Oh, I was hoping the hot layer.
Hot layer.
We all hope for the hot layer.
Really?
That's our favorite part. Everybody just waits and just like
I'll tell you what.
It's like
last
when you
15 minutes of the show or 10. You know what? I'll pull it out.
You're gonna pull.
I'm gonna pull it out. Actually, I'm gonna pull out the city of Arteris. That's what I meant. Don't read into that, community. I know where you can go with that.
Well, they've already gone. They're
It's too late. You're like, woo!
So Duke Violation has a question. Asks,
thank you, Duke.
Wouldn't shape psychology require him to have round under armor with points above?
Because he's a good and a bad guy?
I'm not following. Duke, can you elaborate a little on that?
Yeah.
Oh, he did. Balancing good with evil would offset it.
Oh, yes. No, actually, you have a very good point, Duke. Getting some curves in here and helping it feel not so...
And the community just got what you said.
Ah. I am here to keep everyone entertained.
One way or another.
Yep. Okay. Actually, I kind of looking at the chaos symbol, I like how it is reminiscent of the Union Jack. Okay, and then I believe he has this It's some kind of flame. I'm just going to rough it in there, but I know it's something like that. Put it there. There we go. Hey, how do we know Dark Star is an evil?
Well, the community seems to think that chaos is neither good nor evil. It just is.
Wow. All I know about chaos is what I got from Michael Moorcock. And that's his real name, so no need to make a joke about it, okay?
I was trying not to snicker.
It's like, really?
I can't help it.
Gosh.
I'm 5 years old.
You are. Okay. Still making the sucker bigger. Okay. That starts to have a feel. Okay. And the thing almost doubled in size from the time I first painted it. But it did. Okay. So, one of the things we want to do is make sure that this reads as leather as opposed to metal. I think that will be in the way we treat it. And then I will also just be adding studs to hold it in place, that kind of thing. Wow, I'm saying all sorts of things today, aren't I? There we go. Of course, that doesn't quite read as leather, does it? And I don't think you would have that elbow band with leather. Anyway, let's keep it going.
Amber Rain is being a tough critic, and she says that the star on the elbow almost looks like a misplaced and badly worn corsage. Well, it's because Dark Star is the prettiest girl at the ball.
That's right. There we go. It starts to hopefully feel a little better. Oh, no. We get the idea for now. It's definitely just going to be a rough end. Okay. The armor. Armor is just going to have a big, beautiful chaos symbol. Actually, what I'm going to do, just going to go get the Dark Star symbol.
There you go.
Yeah.
And there for a moment I was impressed at how quickly you were drawing that, and it looked to be really well in perspective. You're like, no, I'm not going to do that.
There we go. Let's see, Dark Star. Where are we? Chaos, Dark Star. Just Merge layers.
And hopefully those symbols have been revealed by now.
All these? Well, we got the founder, the benefactor, I think the lord or the baron, the knight. These are actually still a work in progress, so
yeah, we should state that. Don't
right,
know you're Steven, bro.
Yeah, it's like community. If you're looking at these thinking that these are done and this is what it is, you are incorrect. The only ones I can tell you that are approved and in the game are the founder, the benefactor, and the dark star. The rest are at different stages of development. So again, creating a game is very much a process and takes time. Okay, so I'm liking this symbol. Grab that, edit, actually select, modify, expand by 3, delete. Okay, so that gives us something a little thinner. And then we are just going to warp this onto his chest like that. I'll right click and I'll hit warp, which is just a wonderful little application. I didn't know about this, and I was surprised that when I learned about it, how many people didn't know about it. So, there we go. And what I'll do is apply a mask, and then I'll just come in here and paint that out where you wouldn't see it. Yeah, and that's because that could be moving position and all sorts of stuff you don't know. Okay, and along with that, we need some kind of detail on the armor. I think we'll continue with the triangular shapes.
No, beetle's still running laps.
Is it? You sure it's not a cockroach?
Hell, I don't know. But I wonder if we should turn the light on and give it a suntan.
Cook it.
I'm sure it would survive.
Don't worry about it. All right. So next thing I'm going to do is I'll just bring that up. I'm going to take the base here, Control L. I'm going to bring out some of the dark and bring out some of the light and just get that middle ground. And as you can see, I've got the light and shadow from the body image, and then I've got the quick drawing of the armor on top of that, plus the cloak. So, and the dark star. So what we can start doing is, well, honestly, I think we should continue with the armor. Get that other arm section here. And then now we've got the arrows pointing at each other like that. Just get a gap in here. All right, community. Starts to get a feel. So there's a couple things happening here that I'm not happy with. The first one is proportions of the body. Quick, rough, and it needs some work. Definitely need to work on that. The armor itself, let's see, what do we have going on with the armor? I like what's happening with the shoulders and the use of the chaos symbol with the arrows. And I'm okay with the big one on the chest. That's a gimme. But carrying it through here on the arms and on the elbow, now that I see it all together, I think it's too much. And that's exactly what concept is for, is figuring out what's working, what isn't. So I'm just going to give you an idea quickly of where we go with the armor. And so the next round here, I'm actually just going to try and carry the arrow theme through without being so literal. About it, or so literal about the chaos symbol.
The community is in agreement with you that it seems a little busy.
It does.
And I apologize, community. I am yawning as I have not yet had coffee.
Yeah, what an excuse. Give that man a shot.
Steven's soothing voice is just putting me to sleep.
Yes. Do I put you to sleep, money baby? Okay, so I think that's ultimately going to be a better direction to go. Maybe we just do something like the, yeah. Actually, that's starting to feel better already.
Just give him big 80s shoulder pads, and it can be like an unspoken hark back to early era Ultimates.
What is that? World of Warcraft? Shoulder pads.
Massive shoulder pads.
Okay.
Oh,
like
Ravenclaw gave me a coffee image. Thank you, Ravenclaw. You know, this reminds me of what I like to say to people. They say that a bottle of wine a day is good for you, right? Isn't that what doctors say? So 1 cup of coffee a day.
Is that what they say? 1 cup of coffee?
I think if you have more than 3 cups of coffee a day, supposedly it increases your chance of death before like a certain age by like 20 or 30%. Like there's a substantial correlation between having more than 3 cups of coffee as a male in a day, regularly, and dying 20 years earlier or something. There was an interesting study, or
Oh, snap.
Or maybe someone was just looking at data. But, you know, causality and correlation, not to be confused.
Wow. Not a fan of that information.
So I said,
Lie to me.
So my answer is I won't have cups. I'll have IVs of coffee, or I won't have a cup. I will cheat.
He who cheats best wins. All right.
So we are less than 20 minutes from the end. We have 18 minutes left, and we have not dropped once.
Wow.
So do we want to go rub that in Chris's face after this?
Yeah.
Like, thanks for nothing, Chris. Yeah. See how that goes.
It's not my fault. See, you don't have a problem. Thanks, man. All right. Yes. Oh, Stacy, come on in.
Hi. Hello. You're going to be live on camera.
Nice.
We're
Go ahead
broadcasting.
and save.
Steven has a friend. Oh my God.
It's show and tell. Okay,
Very good.
switch over. You have to lean in. Community, this is a friend of mine, Stacy Moore. We used to work together at Microsoft about 10 years ago, and fate would have it, we both ended up in Austin. That's why we talked to each other in news. So
Yeah.
we got up. So I'm going to let Joseph take over for the next 5 minutes because I have to talk with Stacy privately.
It smells like some good drinking going on.
Yeah, man, you want a scotch?
Sorry.
I'll pass right now. Thank you.
All right.
Oh, I'm going to take over.
Yes,
Okay.
seriously, you are taking over. So, Joseph, let me put you in the captain seat.
Oh boy, this is interesting.
I wasn't kidding.
All right, community.
And we'll just step out. We're going to let you run the ship.
All right, community. I am Rustic Dragon. I am concept art intern for Shroud of the Avatar while Steven is away. I have no idea. This is completely unexpected. This is fun. So, you know, similar to when I pointed the laptop at Lum and said, Lum, you're going to sing, you know, hilarity ensued. So I've got you guys over here. Of course, now that I see that everybody said hello to Steven's friend Stacy, he is gone. But hey, let's kick back to screen share and see what happens. I think I know what's going to happen. I think I have a really good idea of what's going to happen. Okay, so we're back to screen share. This will be the first time that I've ever used a Cintiq in my life. So this is like really, really exciting for me. Okay, so what layers do we got going on here? 'Cause I don't really follow the layers that Steven uses. Wow. He's got this thing calibrated oh, he's left-handed, of course. That's why this is calibrated strangely. So let's take all this. So do we have a... Okay, so we've got that. All right, so awesome. So we're going to alt-click and drag that, which is going to make a new copy of that. And if you know, remember, this one is a little bit transparent. So I'm going to hide the other one. We're going to take that one. We're going to Control U, which is hue and saturation. We're going to colorize this. And we're going to bump that saturation way up. We're also going to bump up the lightness. And so we're going to bring the lightness way up, way up, way up, way up. And I know it looks like we're losing a bit of detail, but we'll fix that here in just a second. So yeah, that's starting to look much better. This is more what people wanted. We're going to bring up levels with Control L. We're going to pop the highlights. We're going to pop some of the... We're going to adjust this until it looks like it's actually pink, instead of just, you know, a colorless blob. All right, let's see, so how's that working? I'm going to press Control 0, and what that does is it'll zoom us out to 100%, so we can get just a quick preview of what we're doing. So, okay, so I think this is what people have been requesting here in chat. So this is for Amber Rain. Let's see. So let's see what we got. The armor layer. Okay, so we'll take Steven's armor layer. Again, we're going to Alt and drag. So you hold down Alt and you drag. When you click a layer, it'll make a copy for you. And you can also do that with multiple layers. If you Control click several layers and then you Alt drag that, you'll make a copy of all of those. So now we've got our armor layer. So let's see. I'm going to start drawing on this, and of course I have a substantially looser style than Stephen does when I draw things. So let's draw a little bit of a elbow point in here. Oh, this is fun. So, you know, who would have ever guessed that I would be sitting here pretending to be Stephen Dinelli when I first tuned into Pen of the Avatar a long, long time ago? So Steve and I have adulterated your artwork.
No!
Since you've been gone. Oh, this is fun. So we're gonna have to add a couple fun things to this here.
Out of the captain's chair. It's
Oh,
pink.
But I'm almost done. I've got to add this awesome mohawk here. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, this is what we're talking about. So this is of course for Amber. She's a big fan of the pink.
She hates pink.
Okay, so don't worry, I didn't adulterate anything. I've got copies of all of your layers here, which you're welcome to turn on and off. That's that. But yeah, so our pink Pepto Dark Star, it lives on. I will give you the chair back. All right. Thank you, community. That was ridiculous. I hope you enjoyed that.
Oh, that was awesome. They probably love it.
All right. Back in the chat seat for me.
All right. I know you're probably all thinking that's really odd, but for our European friends, I'm like hitting Europe in a day or two, so I needed to get some euros. And my friend Stacy most recently was working in Malta. So I think it's TRW Family Entertainment.
TRW Family Entertainment.
Yep. All right, we're down to 10 minutes, so we're going to leave the awesome Dark Star work in progress costume exactly where it's at.
Open that in a couple weeks and be like, what the heck?
I know. I'll be panicking. And then let's take a look at Arteris City. Is this it? Here we go. Okay, anything we want to say to the community? We'll be back in a few minutes. Let me switch you back over. Okay. So for those of you that haven't seen it yet, this was in the most recent update, and this is the City of Arteris painting.
I saw that in progress, but wow, I haven't seen that finished.
Well, now it's finished.
That is gorgeous.
Thank you. So a while back, I had talked about how I work at a specific size and resolution, and if the need arises, I can quadruple the size of the painting and then get the detail in there that I needed. Well, this is one of those particular images. I actually had to quadruple this, and the reason was so that I could get in here and actually paint detail of the characters and detail on the walls and the indication of people in the town, the lanterns. Back here's the top of Arteris Castle or something like that. The lanterns, the bridge. Yeah, this was some unsavory fellows chatting in the shadows. The city of Arteris is actually powered by water, so you'll see that it's got canals like Venice, a bit of an Asian influence, and water wheels. There's the water wheel throughout. So, yeah, this one took a while.
That's the one that I want on my wall.
Okay, well, it's checked in.
Sweet, I'm going to run off to Mexico with it and make a bunch of prints.
There you go.
Narante asks, what is your usual size?
I usually work at 1800 by 900 at 150 DPI. So this one I had to quadruple the resolution, 3200 by 1800.
So there you go.
Yes. And I just tend to work smaller. So how did I get here? Let's talk a little bit about this. So what you see here is a render. Some of these assets exist, like these water wheels, the aqueducts, a couple of these row houses. They're already in progress because they were part of this is public.
Yeah.
All right.
We're just having an internal debate on whether or not we can disclose a particular bit of information.
Yeah, you know what? We're going to stop right there because
Just in case.
just in case. We don't know for sure. Anyway, this will give you a look at the city of Artemis up close.
But that render was really cool, though.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So I'm used to people concepting and then doing that. You kind of started with the render and then concepted the features, it looks like.
Well, there's a couple things going on. The first one is whenever it's a man-made structure, you want to use some type of 3D software. Because I'm very skilled in Maya, I use Maya. And
Did you? So is this your render?
yes.
Oh, well, okay. That's okay. I thought we were like, you know, Hutch had kicked that out for you or something. So this is your render.
Yeah, this is
That's
my
awesome.
render.
So now I get it. So this is truly a concept then.
Right.
Well, I apologize for misspeaking.
Oh, it's all right. And I recommend, if you're interested in this kind of thing, the software you want to use is SketchUp 8. I'm not going to update it, but just so you can see it, SketchUp 8 is actually owned by Google now and is a fantastic software. It has a huge community behind it. You can download all sorts of 3D elements. Everything is free. So it's a wonderful software, and I recommend it. I don't use it very often, and that's because I know Maya so well. All right, so I'm just going to walk you through this process, hopefully quick. And what you see here, this is the painting when I quadrupled the resolution. So you can see that it looks kind of blurry. And I will go right on top of that image and put in a higher level of fidelity. So you can see I've started to paint the lights and the shadows on the characters, a lot more detail. And that's literally just paint right on top of it, trying to get the information to come across. And I think we'll just kind of focus right here on this area. And then let's see, I've got a layer with pots, I got some plants, and what I'll do is I'll just paint one pot or plant and then copy paste and adjust accordingly. And then I have the lanterns. So these guys, because they're all overlapping, some are in light and shadow, I've got different variations up there. And the foreground lantern, and then I've got paint, because you'll see a lot of them are kind of stretched and skewed, and they need to be round. See, the next layer is getting some color in the scene, and along with the stone first floor, I'd also like to get some nice hardwood first floor indicated here. A bit of green and some color in the people populating the town. That's pushing back the stuff here in the upper right just so we get some more depth. Again, with paintings, I always darken them up and then lighten them up on top. And there is one of those hot layers. Let's see, color dodge gives it a nice warm glow. And then I've got something that brings out even more of the light. And then I've got a tint to give it an overall tint. Let's see what we have on this. Looks like I put some vines on the walls, a little bit of vignetting, detail pass on the paintings, and you can see I just bring out the water and the details on the characters and wherever I think I want more information. It's darker. Guess I wanted to pop some characters some more. Just the color of it, get a little more blue-green in the bottom half of the painting. The reflection, just for those of you that ever paint water, the reflection is actually something really simple. You just take a copy, stamp your existing image, flip it upside down, and then add a ripple effect to it. And you can create a mirror image of it so it looks like it's reflecting in the water. Let's see. Looks like I've got a lighting pass here where I like bring out some more light so we get some nice contrast going. Another hot pass to get some rich color. Another one there in the middle to bring out that depth in this foreground. And then hue, saturation, and then finally just a hint of purple to tint the overall thing. So it's real subtle. But that's it. That's the city of Arcturus.
That's gorgeous. People are already requesting that so they can have it for background.
Hey, what is the status of getting prints and stuff? You have some kind of plan in progress?
There is a plan. So, community, you may have, I'm going to jump back over here. You may have noticed if you've gone to the merch store in the last 12, 14 hours that there's nothing there anymore. I've got a master plan that I'm hatching. We're going to be outsourcing our merchandise to a community member. We're not going to tell who yet until everything's all nice and official. But this community member has been very aggressive, very supportive, very awesome in trying to get that deal worked out. And this person is going to take care of all kinds of new awesome products, including prints of Stephen's artwork. So once that all gets set up, you guys will be able to purchase artwork by Stephen, and we'll probably have it set up to where you can have signed versions as well.
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to do that, but
we'll find a way. Maybe the batch comes to us first, and then we'll find a way.
All right. So
Stephen will go to your house and sign your artwork for the low cost of $9.95 plus $1,552 shipping and handling.
That's right.
Plus tax. And tariffs if you're outside the United States.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Anyway, community, thanks for being with us. What did we do today? We did Darkstar, who ended up as a
Pink Star.
Pink Star. Pink Star with a mohawk.
That's what happens when you leave me in charge.
Yes. And E3, please join us in LA if you are there. Lord Brish and Darkstar are going to be there, so it's going to be a fantastic time. And as always, thank you for your support. We would not be here without you, and are greatly appreciative of everything that you've done for us. So, I'm Stephen Dinelli, concept art lead for Shroud of the Avatar, here with
Rustic Dragon, web guy, community guy.
Thanks again for being with us. Have a great month of June, and we will see you in the beginning of July. Yeah, I think it's probably going to be July 1st or 2nd, isn't it?
Oh, well, I'm not sure exactly what day it's going to be.
Actually,
double check.
I'll be on vacation.
You'll be on vacation. Does that mean that I'm going to do it? The whole 2 hours?
We'll see if we get...
we'll get Jeff, or...
Yeah, we'll get Jeff, or we'll just postpone it a week or something.
Now, if Jeff leaves me in charge, then all hell's going to break loose, because I have, like, this much 3D knowledge, so I'll just break everything. That'll be awesome. No one wants to see that.
Does sound awesome. Bye, community.
Thanks you guys very much. Cheers.